All right.
finances.
And we're going to reframe the question or the statement, I
Yeah.
can't afford this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this, I can't afford this idea can go two different ways. Either you're talking about, I straight can't afford this money wise. And, that's one way to look at it. And we'll get into that. Or are you like, ask yourself, what really can you not afford? Because you can get cheesy with it and be like, you can't afford to not start a fitness program. And that's true. Like, that's why you're looking at fitness stuff online.
Yeah.
That's why you're asking these questions in
Well,
your head. Like, well, what if I could start? So
I think, hang on, if you're going to say the two ways should be, honestly, if you say you can't afford this, my first question is, have you even looked at what that means?
mm-hmm,
Okay, like what exactly can't you afford? And then
mm-hmm,
the second part would be, well, then what can you afford? If we're simply talking money, because if you say to me, I can't afford this, and you mean that from a financial standpoint alone, not the why. Well, you can't afford not to do this, or can you afford to keep eating the ho hos, or can you? I'm not. Let's forget all of that. Okay, and if you're coming to me and saying, I can't afford this, I'm going to assume that you've gone through your own finances and you've got a budget in mind. You've gone through what we offer. You are
mm-hmm.
clearly in the know of what it is you think you need. So then that means if you can't afford this, there's something you can afford. What is that? And if you don't have a fucking answer, then you don't know. And you're here for
Yeah.
help. So let us help you. Because
Yes.
the I can't afford, like the I can't afford shit is always, you're never going to be able to afford anything. I don't care if you're a billionaire or you're a broke ass. There's always a thing that you wish you had, but you couldn't, and you're just not willing to get what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you really got to ask yourself, okay, what does that mean? Right? Is it the product I can't afford? Is it the time I can't afford? Is it the commitment I can't afford? Is it the flat, the overall payment I can't afford? The bill?
Mm-hmm,
Because there's financing that we offer. So you
mm-hmm.
can't afford the monthly. What is it? Like, why are you here? Why are we talking about this right now? What is it that you do need and what can
Yes.
you afford? And let's go from there.
Yes. 100%. Because if you're already looking for something, you've already said in your head that you're trying to start, right? You're already
Mm-hmm.
kind of setting the stage
Right.
for yourself
Right.
to do something different. Because if it takes some courage to say, yes, let's talk about this. If it's something new to you and you've never done it before, or you're coming off a long hiatus, people tell me all the time, I'm so embarrassed. Like, don't be embarrassed.
Embarrassed of what?
Like that they've let themselves go, or that they've gained all this weight, or that they've tried to start so many times and failed. And
And
they
how old
say
are they?
things. I mean, I've heard that from people of all ages.
Grown
I'm
ups,
just,
though.
mm-hmm,
Like, say, 30 and older.
mm-hmm,
Right? What the
yep.
fuck you think is going to happen when you're 30 and older? Like, what you embarrassed? You're
Well,
the only 30-year-old who's out of shit? Newsflash,
yeah,
shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
yes. And
That's a rite of passage, man.
yes. And it does take a lot of courage, I think, to put yourself out there and
Yep.
say, I'm
Yep.
looking for help. I need help. I need
Yep.
guidance. I
Yep.
don't know what to do. And so if you've already taken that step, then there's
Mm-hmm.
already something in your head that you know that you literally and physically cannot afford to keep going the way that you're going, or you wouldn't be seeking a change. Right.
Right.
So to your
Right.
point, if you hear a price on something like a custom program or a challenge of, in-person classes, and your first thought is, I can't afford that. That's the question that you just posed. Okay, well, what can you afford
Mm-hmm.
is everything. Because
Mm-hmm.
you're either going to use that I can't afford it as an excuse to just be like, well, I guess what I need, I can't have because I can't afford it. And you're just going to close it
Mm-hmm.
off out of fear or whatever else it
Yep.
is that's holding you back
Yep.
and forget about it. But if you can
Yep.
reframe it and say, okay, but what can I afford? There are
Mm-hmm.
options all over the place, whether it's us or somebody else or
Yep.
anything.
Or
There
yourself with
are,
YouTube.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, that's how I learned, my boyfriend showed me how to work out, and I just, from there,
This
he
is a
knew nothing about
PG-13,
nutrition.
mostly podcast. That's
Yeah.
except for my
No, it's
language, of
not.
course. Okay.
But I taught myself everything I knew about nutrition.
Yeah,
The
but
first 30
you had
pounds.
made that decision though. That's the thing.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying too, is
I,
that
like we could say to
it's,
people, you can't afford it, but you're over here drinking your Starbucks with your iPhone 15, right? We could, we offer
mm-hmm,
financing, like
mm-hmm,
all the other shit you probably quote unquote can't afford. So
yep,
it's not that. Like, I think instead of, I don't know how to pose this, but if you're on the fence,
mm-hmm,
can you see yourself going into a consultation with a pro and them saying, like, if you were in a consultation with me right now and I
mm-hmm.
said, okay, here's, why are you here? Here are your goals. Da, da, da. Here's what, like, give me a product. Like, what do you think you're interested in? I don't know. Or let's just pretend you're here for a custom, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's what it is. It's going to do this. Check-in points are here. Nutrition is this and this. It's going to be X dollars. What do you think? And you say, I can't afford it.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I can't afford it.
Why not?
Because I don't have enough money. Christmas is coming. Gas is really expensive. My husband's going to be mad at me if I spend it. So
Well, that last
it's
one
just
has
not in the
nothing to do with your
cards.
bank. So that's it. I'm not a marriage counselor, but the other stuff, okay, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How far away you live?
Like a mile.
So
I
you
live
could
like 2
walk.
minutes from here.
Got it.
Yeah.
You're
Mhm.
okay with, I'm assuming you don't want to die.
No.
Okay. So you could walk, push comes to shove, right?
Yeah.
And let's not,
Yeah.
let's cut the shit here. Every husband wants their wife to be in tip-top shape, right? Okay, cool.
That's
So that's a
true. That's a good point.
twofer. Awesome. What was the first one you said you couldn't afford?
Because I don't have enough money.
Got it. Do you have life insurance? Because funerals are fucking expensive. Is your family ready for that? I mean, you won't have to worry about it because you can't afford it. You'll be dead anyway. So who fucking cares? So what? I mean, why can't you afford it? Why can't you squeeze out, in finances? Why can't
Mm-hmm.
you do it? Shit, I'll give you the first couple of weeks for free. See for yourself. I won't even charge you.
Mm-hmm.
It's free. So why not?
That's a good point. I don't know. At that point,
And that's, if you're listening on Spotify, I took I sat back in my seat and just waited, like, and I'm being a little that's not true because I've actually had consults like that. But the point is, you got to ask yourself, can you afford not to have that kind of conversation? I remember pulling the whole, the average cost of a funeral is $6,500. You ain't got to worry about it, but your family will. I assume you have insurance. And the look of straight, just mortified that I would have the audacity to say that. And what's even better is I didn't move a fucking inch. I'm sitting there staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the guy. This is not the place. You ain't gonna pull it on me. I don't give a shit what your husband says. Bring him here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what car dealers would do. Well, get your husband on the phone. Like, I don't give a fuck. Bring him here. If you don't want to talk,
Yeah.
don't bring him up. If you don't want to bring him, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Don't talk to me
Absolutely.
about finances or what you can't afford if you ain't prepared to talk about what you can afford. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, once that's out the way, let's get to work. Let's talk about the things that matter. Injuries, limitations, favorite exercises, worst experience in the gym ever. Like, let's get it all out there. Other than burpees and crunches and planks, what do you hate? And yes, I know if you're a woman, you probably want to do a pull-up for the first time in your life. Cool. Done. It's part of the standard deal, man. When I'm done with your ass, you're going to be wanting to beat up G.I. Jane in the back alley because our job with Commit and Fit Kick, and this is something I pounded in your fucking head too, was I wanted to make sure that everybody who I've ever trained and walked through our door left with the bravado of 1,000 men. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that sounds kind of bravo or what's it called? Sexist or whatnot, whatever, masculine and things. Fuck you, I'm a man. That's what I say. You got to believe that God gave you the power to be the only one of you ever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Respect that shit. Throw down and fight for this life that you've got. You can't. What does that even mean? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I've had people who have offered to pay, like, in trading cleaning the gym before. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Which I never took. But I did the whole, I'll give you a couple of weeks here. You show me this, and then I'll work on a deal with you. It doesn't work like that all the time. And I'm not over here running a fucking soup kitchen. But, if somebody wants to come in and try to wheel and deal on some normative shit to make me feel bad, if you're ready to die for it, okay, let's see how long you're willing to ride this train. Because you can't sell a salesman. And my job is to sell you on yourself. Because somewhere along the line, you've lost your way. That's what we can't afford, is to forget who we are and the things that we want to do. That's what you can't afford. Okay? Because if it's just money, that shit that Biden's punk ass continues to print out for no fucking reason, and we continue to go in debt, it's just cash. You can go on the street and find money in the street right now.
Yep.
Right? There are bitches out there right now making millions doing OnlyFans for their pinky toe. It's not, you're not afraid of failing. What you're afraid of is not having the answers when something goes wrong. So don't pull that shit either. Okay?
Yeah.
Honestly. If you don't get the good vibe from us as people, then we're not the right ones for you. But I promise you, there are people out there that will try to sell you on some shit. Right? Cool. But even then, like, you're the one, like, you still got to do the work.
I know. And that's, if you're truly looking at, anything, right? And you're telling yourself, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Well, you know what? If that's the mindset that you're already taking going into it, it's not the right time for you anyway, because you are not going to be successful in anything, unless you truly believe in it and you want it and you understand why you want it,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
we've got people who have walked into this straight terrified of spending the money because they don't have a lot of extra and they have spent money on shit before that has not worked or that has fallen off or that didn't turn out to be what they thought it was going to be, what the salesperson sold them. It didn't turn out to be that. And once they did it, I mean, we've got so many people who they just never looked back. They never looked back. They did it. They took that risk. They understood, is this a lot of money right now? Sure. Is this an investment? Absolutely. But what am I getting back from it in value outside of the money?
Yeah.
And not only did they find a way to make it work, I mean, we've had people here who literally have second jobs to help them pay for this, right? Because
It's
they
a change in the way in
know,
life. They
yes,
never look
because
back. Like, how many people throw their trash away every week and sit there and wonder, I wonder how my trash is doing. Like,
yeah.
you ain't go back in the garbage can and looking at this shit like, well, I remember you tasted real good.
I mean,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
sitting
It's
looking
over.
at this. Yeah, I'm sitting looking at this wall over here of where people in our gym write like their wins down. There's 2 or 3 on there that are about weight, but the
Yep.
rest of them say, I broke up with 4 of my doctors. I didn't need them anymore. I'm off my blood pressure medication. It's all these things that these people walked in terrified to spend the money, terrified to make the investment in money and time and effort. And now their life has completely changed because they made that decision. They knew, can I afford this
Yeah.
monetarily? I don't know, but I'll figure it out. But what I really can't afford
Yeah.
is to keep digging myself a deeper hole
Right.
where
Right.
my kids are watching me deteriorate in front of their eyes.
Everything changes once you start. You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
It's like what if we were to put, maybe we should do this, is for everybody who say they can't afford it, it's like, okay, come do this workout for free. If you survive it, you get the damn thing for free.
Yeah.
Are you willing to, can you afford that? Are you going to come up with something else? Right? Because I'm down to chip away at the shit until we find the root of the issue. But the fact is, change only happens if change occurs. Right? And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Right? That's why people say with workouts, the only bad workout is the one that didn't happen, is because just fucking start. Because once you start, it's not that bad.
Yes.
Right?
We
It's just not that bad. Like the feel good emotion, the hormones are released, your endorphins are pumping, and all of a sudden, oh my God, you actually start to believe that shit's possible. And that's all you need. That's all you need.
Yes. We just posted about this yesterday over on all of our social medias because the number one thing I tell people when they're like, I just don't feel like working out today. I'm just not motivated, whatever. I
You
say,
what?
set your time. When people are just like, I just don't feel like it today. I'm just not motivated. Say, you know what? Here's what you do. Set your timer for 15 minutes. Start a workout. If at the end of the 15 minutes, give yourself an out. Give yourself an out. If at the end of the 15 minutes you're like, I'm not feeling this, I'm out. Give yourself permission to walk away. Cool. I've never had one person do that and then say they quit after the 15 minutes. Because once you start, all those things start pumping, all those endorphins come, and you realize, like, damn. And sometimes those end up being your best workouts. So think about it this way. What if the cure to your motivation issue or whatever is to just start? You think that your brain is the main thing holding you back,
Yeah.
and really it's the only thing that can make it work. It's the only thing that can make it work.
I
So
don't
why are
believe
you
in the whole
constantly?
motivation. We talked about that too. Like,
Yeah,
we don't, I don't, you don't, if
that's
you're
why I
not, it's
keep.
not that you're
If you're
not
watching the,
motivated,
yeah,
you're uninspired.
yes, and
Right.
if
And
you're watching, I'm
it's
putting the
unmotivated.
quotes around motivation. Yeah,
It's unmotivating to kick your own ass, go look in the mirror, you still fat as fuck.
yeah,
I'm
it's
speaking
not
from
great.
damn experience. Believe me, I know. But when I look back and as I understand it, the only way to truly reshape my body of something that did not happen overnight is to take back those days by each second in each minute in exchange, right? If you're going to take them back and it's going to take time, then I know that workout, that was a step forward, or it was a step still that stopped me from going backwards. In either way, that's a win. One
Yeah,
down, next one up. And you take it
yes.
one at a time. And the next thing you know, just like, getting out of shape, you'll look up and realize, well, goddamn, I can do this. You go to that doctor's appointment after you'd been consistent with your workout program, and the doc says, well, shit, you're healthier. Let's get you off these meds. If you're lucky, if it's a shit doctor, they'll be like, let's put you on a different one. This one must not be working. You know what I mean? So keep an eye out for that one. But,
Yeah,
but, but from a financial standpoint, is it really that expensive to try? What does it really cost you to actually have the audacity to believe in the possibility that you can get past the first workout? Because if you can get past the first one, you can get past them all.
do them all.
So ask yourself, when you say, I can't afford it, what is the it? And are you ready to talk about it?
Mm-hmm.